What's going on, gang? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at the first of two videos from the brand new Chinese tokusatsu series. It is called Space Deleter Savers. Now, this set is the Solar Saver, made up of the Red Saver, the Blue Saver, and the Pink Saver's vehicles. Now, the Saver series is the Chinese version of tokusatsu, or Super Sentai, or, Kamen Rider and that sort of thing. Ultraman falls in that category as well. Now, I've been trying to find some English descriptions of this show. Heck, I've even tried to find the show itself, and it is next to impossible to find anything in English on this show. Though I was able to find some information over at Collection DX and a few other random sites here and there, and including my good friends over at TokuNation.com. So, the different ones or vehicles we have here are the Deleter Red's Rising Arrow. The Rising Arrow rocket, the Sky Transporter for blue, and the Dream Fighter for pink. I think Dream Fighter is my favorite of the three because it just looks like a solar-powered jet. I kind of dig that. It's even got thrusters in the back. So cool. The Red Rocket, that's really all you get. And then we have what effectively is a carrier transport here. Though I do appreciate the missiles and all the lights. Now, they all do combine into a transport mode, which we'll talk about here in a second. But overall, I like the vehicles. They're nice size, they're hefty, the plastic is good quality. I mean, it doesn't feel like anything's going to fall apart. Overall, some really top quality plastic. Now, I have read or have heard that the series before this one, Giant Savers, which I've never been able to get a hold of the figures of, the plastic wasn't the best in the world. Oh well, so let's go ahead and combine them up into their transport mode. Now, out of the box, this is the way Sky Transporter looks, and from what I understand in the show, this is the way he's supposed to start out. And then you flip open the transport bed here. Then the Rising Arrow rocket will peg into the back of the transporter, right there. And there's a little clip here that just pegs it in. And then on the top, well, the jet has this little nub right here, and that just sits right on the top of the rocket. It doesn't peg in or anything, it just rests right on top. And that's it. That is the transport mode. Actually, that works pretty well in all honesty. There's one more mode that the vehicles can form, and that's specifically between blue and red, and that is the launch mode. So put your fingers down on the hinges and then flip up the top or the canopy or the front of the Sky Transporter, and then just plop the Rising Arrow rocket on it, and you have its launch mode. So yeah, we've got kind of a countdown-esque thing going on here. Pretty cool, actually. Though, nothing happens with pink. It's just off to the side somewhere. Overall, I've got to say, these are pretty nifty individual little vehicles. They all work really well. The only the weakest one is probably pink here, the Rising Arrow, or a Flying Arrow, or whatever it's called. It just is really hollow, if that makes any sense. It just is very, very strange and hollow. But this wouldn't be a tokusatsu without these three combining. Starting off with the Sky Transport, take the legs and flip them up until they peg in, and lift the back treads up and the middle treads forward to form the feet. Take these treads that are in the middle of the vehicle mode, or behind the front, fold them up, stand the back of the thing up, and split the legs open. Then take the front and fold that down, and take the front bumper and flip that down and around the back. And congratulations, you have formed the legs! Next up is the rocket, and the rocket splits into 4 different components. First, just grab the bottom and pop that off. That becomes the upper torso. The middle section become the arms, and pull them out. And then this will become the weapon. We'll talk about the weapon here in a bit, but that is its weapon. So put that off to the side for now. Torso part drops in, pegs into place. Arms come to the side, and you have to flip out the connectors, which I do appreciate, actually. And just find the thumbs and put them forward, facing forward, obviously. And there we have the base of Solar Saver. Finally, we take pink, take the front of the jet mode, and flip it all the way around, exposing clips. And those will drop right down on the head and clip into place. Then unpeg the shoulder pads from the rest of the plane mode, which is sometimes easier said than done. And there we go. Here is Solar Saver. Solar Saver is freaking awesome. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is probably one of my favorite giant robots that I've gotten a hold of in the past 2 years. And the thing that makes it so cool is it's just a return to form of what I love about Power Rangers and Tokusatsu robots in general. There's no stupid gimmicks. There's nothing like giant robot heads or anything. It's just a simple, straightforward, giant robot made out of multiple vehicles, which, in all honesty, we've kind of lacked in the past couple of years of, well, Super Sentai. I mean, specifically, we've had gimmick lines, and that's what they've been for the past, maybe 5 to 10 years. It's just been these weird gimmick lines, as opposed to what we had back in the early 90s to late 2000s. We're just, hey, we have these components that turn into a giant robot. That's it. Nothing else weird. No other built-in gimmick. And I miss that. I honestly do. Now, that's not to say that the gimmicks are bad. Sometimes they can be very cool, like the Beast batteries from Kyoryuger. But there is something to be said about just simplicity in general. Before adding pink to the combined robot, the head sculpt is really nifty. It looks like a Transformer, in all honesty. A very generic Transformer, but a Transformer nonetheless. And he has this feeling of light pipiness all over his head. Then when you add pink to the mix, he gets this kind of space cowboy look to him. Now he does have this crest which can fold forward, but that's really to be used for the combined mode that he does with another giant robot, which is cool, and you'll be seeing that shortly. But overall, I think the head sculpt looks really nifty. It just looks, like I said, very futuristic space cowboy. For some quick size comparisons, here are Combiner Wars Superion, Deluxe Class Generations Armada Starscream, and the Super Zeozord, or O-Blocker. Just giving you guys a quick size look at this guy. He's pretty big, but he's very well proportioned. Solar Saver is by far the best figure I've gotten a hold of this year. And I've gotten a hold of some really great figures, some of which I have not had a chance to give you guys a review of yet. But this guy just hits all my buttons. And I can't totally express why. It's simple, but it's so cool. It's fun looking, it's easy to transform. It's just wonderful. If you guys can get a hold of it, I would strongly recommend it. I picked this one up at sirtoys.com. It's the only place I found it other than eBay. And sirtoys.com had it for a reasonable price of just under $50. So I picked it up there. I haven't found it anywhere else except eBay. If there's anyone out there that has access to a Chinese market or can get the figures from China, please hit me up, because I really want to get a hold of the original Giant Saver figures and more of Space Deleter. Now, I do have the second robot. I'm looking for the third, which I don't think is actually out yet in the deluxe size class. Anyway, guys, if you could get a hold of Solar Saver, I highly recommend it, as I said. As always, I've been Baltmatrix, asking you to like, comment, and subscribe. And guys, I will catch you next time.